Excellent question. So let's go and see that. That's the last thing we'll cover for now. But it's okay. So we have a span. Let me just close this. Close the head. Okay, I have a span. Let me just get rid of some. And let's say I don't know how to use HTML elements and how they are composed. So I put a paragraph inside a p tag. Now, remember that when I want like to display a paragraph tag, like when I want to display something like this inside the page, so I can see an actual anchor tag P right here, I cannot use this syntax, right? Because the browser will interpret this as a paragraph and it will create a new paragraph. So HTML entities start with an ampersand. They have some kind of code and they end with a semicolon. So the HTML entity for a less than symbol, this one, is ampersand less than and the semicolon. You can see I have autocomplete here on VS Code. So now P and then another HTML entity ampersand greater than GT for the greater than sign. And then I can have like this. So now I'm just displaying this as characters, not interpreted. They are not interpreted as HTML code by the browser. Okay. So let me see if I can actually do this, just like Mary mentioned. So one thing that you can do to check your code is you can grab your code. We've learned that in a previous lesson session. And I can go to W3C validator. So W3C validator. And I will go here and then select validate by direct input. So I can paste the code directly because I don't have any web address for now. I paste the code here and then I click check. And let's scroll down to see. Okay. Now, the first check that you can do to make sure that your HTML is valid is check the errors. Now, at this point, we know that the element P is not allowed as a child element of span in this context. So one thing that W3C validator gives us is these errors. I know that I should remove the paragraph and use another element. Okay, but how do I know which elements are allowed inside the span? My next stop would be, of course, MDN. So you should go to a new tab and Google for HTML span MDN, or as I like to do it, MDN HTML span. That's it, MDN for the resource, HTML for the category, not CSS, not JavaScript, but specifically I want to search HTML, and span. So most of the time, this Google search will give me the span element. I believe this is the page. Yes, this is the page. Now, let's see how we can find what elements we can put inside the span. So all of the HTML elements that are found inside the MDN references HTML element subcategory. So we have the HTML category, the element subcategory, and then we have all the elements. So all the HTML elements have various sections that you can see here, like the technical summary, specifications, browser compatibility, examples, attributes, and so forth. So make sure to read these pages. Now, I'm going to focus just on the part that says which elements are allowed inside this HTML. So I will scroll down to the technical summary section. Now, here in the technical summary, what Mary was pointing out was this one, the permitted content. So this means this is what is permitted to be placed as a content in this tag. The span tag has very specific permitted content. What is the permitted content of this tag? The phrasing content. Okay, I have no idea what the phrasing content is, so I can click, and it will describe about these categories. Like the phrasing content is a category of elements. Now, if I scroll down, I will just do a quick look of this page. You have to read it. We have the phrasing content, and there's this nice diagram that says, okay, there are these different sets or groups of elements. We have like the flow group of elements. We have the metadata. We have the interactive. They just get like a bunch of HTML elements and categorize them under these categories, embedded, sectioning, so that they kind of like have a semantic like categorization. So the phrasing content, if you scroll down, you will see all these groups, all these categories, metadata content, flow content. What we're really interested is the phrasing content. That was the one that is permitted as a content inside the span. So if I scroll down to the phrasing content, I can see all the elements that belong to this category, and I can see that the paragraph is not a part of them. Let me scroll down to P. So OP. So as you can see, the only elements that I can include are these ones. So if you want to know, what elements to include, if you want to double check, I would say don't go here and take a look at the list. Write your code, follow your intuition, follow what you learned, go to W3C validator, and then make sure to check the phrasing content or the permitted content for each element, just to have like a detailed overview of what is permitted. So Google MDN, HTML, technical summary, permitted content, phrasing content, and then scroll down to that content category to actually see all the permitted.